Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dietary Lifestyle Transformation. We are on week 7, and I'm recording this week because we were out due to the snow. We were out of school, both my girls were. So, thanks for accepting the recording this week. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. You can email me. Um, all right, we talked about sleep and energy last week, so hopefully you were able to use some of the tips for better sleep. We talked about going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, even the weekends, finding time to relax before bedtime each night, trying to set away the phones, the computers, turning off the TV. So, really focusing on a bedtime routine to let your body know that you're winding down for the day and you're ready for rest. Try not to eat large meals or drink caffeine or coffee late in the day, alcohol, and then exercising at regular times. So, I talked about all the circadian rhythms that we can incorporate into our lives to just let our bodies know when things are coming and it just really balances things out for us. So, hopefully, you're working on that. This week, I originally had emotional eating on our syllabus, but I'm going to go into habit change first and then I'll do emotional eating next. Okay, so why is change hard? You have this change arc, and it works like this. You have a proposed change, so think, what's changing for me and why? And what does that look like? And then you go into a mindset shift of this is difficult to this is doable. This is costly to this is rewarding. This is very strange. This is weird to this is starting to feel normal. So you're in week 7. I'm hoping that you're starting to experience this mindset shift of difficult to doable, costly to rewarding, starting to feel the benefits of the fasting and the changing of your foods and incorporating better sleep, stress reduction, making it a whole health initiative for yourself so that it goes from being weird to just normal. This is what I do. And this is something that I want to keep ongoing for a lifetime because it feels amazing. It makes me a better person. And that's where you go into new behaviors and change starts to occur because you've incorporated habits that are changing changing the way that you feel and ultimately are going to help you reach your goal. All right. So we have some key metrics to change. First is increasing our understanding, which is why you're here. You're nailing that one. Secondly, is knowing our priorities. So I talked about priorities last week in regards to sleep, and it's something that I have to pay attention to as well. What are my priorities for sleep? Am I going to stay up late and get all the laundry done? Am I going to clean the entire kitchen? Am I going to stay up scrolling on my phone? Is it worth it to watch one more episode versus going to sleep? Because if we go to sleep, we know that we'll feel better tomorrow and we'll be able to make better decisions tomorrow and we'll be able to get closer to our goals because we'll be able to have better habits tomorrow if we get better sleep tonight. So that's how you set up priorities around your health and well-being. And I also have to think about this in regards to my children, who I always bring up, but it's just part of my everyday life. I always think about the mask, putting on the mask for yourself before you put on the mask for someone next to you on the airplane. And I do that with like things like I got to put my coat on before I put their coat on. I need to make myself a lunch as well and make sure that they have healthy foods as well. But knowing priorities in that way is also important. I have to take care of myself so that I can take care of them. I hope that makes sense because I feel like we're always thinking about taking care of other people, and sometimes that can put us on the back burner. We really have to prioritize ourselves as well to take care of them the best of our ability. I gotta feel good to take care of them better. It's easy to lose patience with children, and it's easy to get overwhelmed with all the things that need to be done. But if I can do my best to feel my best and I can set my priorities up that way, I can be a better parent to them. I can be a better spouse to my husband. I can be a better coworker to my team. So knowing your priorities for your health will also set you up for success in everything you do in life, really. But you got to take control. So how do we do that? We need to we need to think about whether we are in a growth mindset or if we are in a fixed mindset. And you can be in a growth mindset on some things and a fixed mindset in others, but I want you to pay attention on how you're talking to yourself. So, in a growth mindset, your failure is an opportunity to grow. We have failures every day. No day is ever going to be perfect. So, do you think to yourself, well, this happened today. I didn't want it to happen that way, but how can I do better tomorrow? Or do you let failure be the limit of your abilities? This happened today, so I'm never going to be able to do it the way that I want to because this happened today. That's a fixed mindset. Growth is I can learn to do anything I want. Fixed is I'm either good at it or not. I'm either good at fasting or I'm not. Or I can learn how to be better at fasting. I've heard that the more I practice, the easier it's going to get. It's like a training wheel. The more that I practice it, eventually it's going to be like riding a bike. It's going to get easier. Do you think in that way? Or do you think this is really hard? This is something that is challenging and I'm not good at it? How are you putting thoughts into your head? Because we talk to ourselves the majority of the day with or without knowing it, and what we say to ourselves is very, very important. All right, fixed is my abilities are unchanging. And then growth is challenges help me to grow. Fixed is I don't like to be challenged. I don't want to be challenged. I want to keep doing things the way that I do them, and I want to see results. Or I know that I have to be challenged to see results. Feedback is constructive and helpful, or is feedback taken personally? Does it feel like criticism? I stick to what I know is a fixed mindset. And I've had people say that to me before. I stick to what I know. And I understand that. That is a very natural and well meaning, probably not best for us, but it's a natural way to think as a human to stick to what we know. It's easier to stick to what we know. We like what we know. And it's hard to try new things. But a lot of times you're going to grow from trying new things. You're going to figure out that there can be something better on the other side if you challenge yourself. But we have to be mindful of our habits. Our habits are the things that we do every single day with or without thinking about it. So habits are how we talk to ourselves and how we respond to things and how we let triggers come at us and what we do with those triggers. So a trigger can also be called a cue, and this is what kicks the brain into automatic mode. It tells us what habit we're going to use to respond to the trigger. So let me give you an example of this. I don't know if you've ever read it's The Power of Habits, but this is the prime example in that book. If you haven't, the guy trigger is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It turns 3 o'clock on the clock. He gets up from his desk. He takes the elevator, goes down to the cafeteria. He sees friends down there, chats with them for a second, and then he goes over and he grabs a chocolate chip cookie and he eats it. That's his routine. The cue is it's 3 o'clock. The routine is he gets up from his desk, he goes downstairs, he gets a chocolate cookie. He has a physical, mental, or emotional response to it being 3 o'clock. And then he has a reward that comes along with this. It's a prize telling your brain, this loop is worth remembering in the future. I really enjoyed that chocolate chip cookie. I should do this every day. And that's what he did for a long time. Every day, he'd go downstairs and get a chocolate chip cookie. And that's how a habit is formed. All right. But there are ways to break our habits. And the first step is writing them down. Writing down, what do you want? What is it that is potentially getting in your way? What do you want more of? What do you want less of? So this particular person wrote down, I want less stress and I want 10 pounds of weight loss. With which coincidentally, the same guy that was eating the chocolate chip cookie every day, he wanted 10 pounds of weight loss too. And he started thinking about it. What am I doing that is causing this extra weight? What am I doing? What habits are creating this? Or what new habits could I create to help with this? But the first step is writing it down. What do you want? And when are you going to write it down? Like, when are you going to evaluate your habits? So this person decided the morning was the best option. Getting up just a little bit earlier and writing down the goals for the day, writing down what habits will help you to reach that goal. So this particular person wanted to have less stress and lose weight. So they decided they were going to meditate for 20 minutes a day, walk for 10 minutes a day, eat more plants, and have no more soda. So those habits were going to lead to less stress and then losing the 10 pounds of weight loss. The next step is to check in. Do a daily check-in. How did I do today? Just a simple calendar with check marks can be helpful. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Did I get the meditation in? Did I get the walking in? Did I eat plants today? I'm checking it off. And you can have that daily check-in. You can have it the next morning when you wake up. Did I do these things yesterday? And then there's also a weekly progress review you can do. So it's hard to do a progress review on a daily basis, but on a weekly basis, I think that's a little bit better. So maybe taking Sunday to do the weekly progress review. So how often did I meditate this week? How often did I get the walking in? How often did I get the plants in? So you're adding up all the days. 3 out of 5 days meditation, 3 out of 5 days walking, 2 out of 5 days got the plants in, got a plant-based meal in. So then you can look at that and say, is that good enough? Am I getting closer to my goal? Is my stress going down in this case? Is this enough to lose weight? What worked? What did not work? Why did those things not work? So really evaluating here, really evaluating the habits here and what you can do differently. And adjusting. So creating habits for the next week based on the previous week, getting more detailed. The more detailed, the better. And then what needs to change from this past week to the next week to make sure that these habits happen to reach the goals that you are wanting. So new habits. When you evaluate your weekly progress. Meditate the first 10 minutes of the lunch break. So you can see how we went from meditating for 10 minutes to really getting specific with it and putting it exactly in where you're going to do it. I'm going to meditate the first 10 minutes of the lunch break. I'm going to walk 10 minutes before work each morning. I'm going to eat plants in my breakfast smoothie. So getting more detailed with it can really help your brain to know where am I going to drop these habits in during the day so that I can start making them stick. All right, and then going back, I want to finish the story on the guy with the cookie. So going back to him, he evaluated what was his real need. Let's go back to the habit loop. Well, what he decided was the cue is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and what he really needed was a break from his work. He just needed a little breather, a little break. And so he tried to start changing the routine. So did the routine have to be going downstairs and getting a cookie, or could the routine be something different? A lot of times it's easier to replace a habit rather than trying to just stop eating the cookie. It's easier to replace a habit than stop a habit altogether. So he wanted to test out and see, could he replace the habit with something else? Could he just go outside for a walk? Could he just go chat with friends for a minute? And what he found was he was just wanting a little social reprieve. He was wanting to go chat with friends, and he did not go on from chatting with friends to get the cookie, and he was still rewarded. He had that little break that he was looking for at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and he started to lose the weight from not eating the cookie every day. So we can break these habit loops if we identify which ones may be holding us back, and then which ones could really help us to move forward, right? And sometimes taking one out and replacing it with something better, like removing the cookie and just having a chat with friends, that can make a world of difference. All right, so tracking your habits, writing them down, checking in daily, checking in weekly with a progress review, and then adjusting, always adjusting until eventually that habit becomes something that you don't even think about. And you don't have to use a whole lot of willpower to make it happen. It's just what you do. And it ultimately brings you closer to your goal by doing it every day. So, in talking with goals, let's continue fasting with our whole foods, of course, increase our movement, our sleep, our energy levels, and let's focus on those daily habits that are really going to push us forward. And then in closing, I want you to consider your why. Why do you want to be healthy? It's really important to know our why and always bring it front and center, because that's what's going to continue to motivate us to move forward and work on the things that make us a healthier person. Why do we want to be healthy? So knowing that is your tip and takeaway for this week. And hopefully you start a new habit of writing down your habits so that we can continue to reach forward towards those goals to be a healthier you. Thank you for joining me today. And if you have any questions or feedback or need anything, as always, feel free to email me and I will see you live and in person, pending no snow. I think we get warm weather next week, but we're looking forward to that. We'll see you next week. You'll have a great one. Bye.